Now I'm going to be using a 1500 grit sandpaper. One thing you want to know about sandpaper is that when you're using a new sheet, it's going to cut very, very fast. As this sheet gets old, it will cut less and less. So you got to be aware of everything. You got to be aware of the temperature of the paint, how hard the paint is, how soft the paint is, how new your pad is, how much water you're using. Are you using distilled water? Are you using a backing plate? Now these are designed to go on a machine, but the technology in this disc I don't find with sheet paper. So I'm going to use this disc by hand. It's a little technique that I like to do. These give a more uniform scratch pattern so you can polish it out. I'm going to follow that 1500 up with a brand new sheet of 3000 grit. And this stuff is extremely soft. Very, very soft. So a lot of people would say 15 is a little too strong, but I know my car's paint. I know what it's going to take to get this done. And then I'm going to use a leveling fluid to remove the scratches and a finishing polish to fine tune the gloss. I'm going to use a microfiber cutting pad to cut out the sand scratches with a leveling fluid. And then I'm going to use a foam pad to refine the finish. Nice soft foam. And of course the dual action polisher. And that's it. We're gonna knock this out. And I definitely suggest you guys doing this in the sun. And the reason why, maybe not the polishing, but at least the sanding in the sun. The sunlight is going to give you the best image possible. You can bring out studio lights, you can bring out all these things, but the sunlight, it shows it all. So the polishing part, yeah, you're going to probably want to pull in the shade, but as far as the sanding goes, you're going to want to see every little detail. You do not have much to work with here, so I'm going to get started. Okay, right now I'm going to knock down the edges. So right now these edges are very definitive, very noticeable. Go ahead and knock these edges down. So I'm manipulating the disc, I'm folding it, and I'm knocking these edges down just to kind of soften up the tone of the scratch a little bit here. Knock down that edge. I can obviously see this is the deepest part of the scratch. This is the lightest part of the scratch. I know for a fact that this light part can be sanded out. That is not through the clear coat. Over here is very questionable. So why am I going to start sanding over here to try to remove something where I could burn through the clear coat when I know that I can remove this? So I'm going to remove this, and I'm going to judge by removing this the amount of time, pressure, water, all the factors, what it takes to remove this, so I can gauge properly what I need to do to remove this. Okay, now as you can see, I've lost the tail end of this inside these scratches. That's what you want. So now I know how long it took to remove that depth. The tail is gone. As you can see, I have sanded out 90% of the scratch. It is gone. It's been leveled. The remaining, I'm not going to hit it with the 1500. Go through the 3000 to find this down. Okay, so I hit it with a 3000, and as you can see, it's a lot bigger of a sanding marks. So I like to blend in my work. So I kind of blended it. I noticed a little scratch over here. Kind of handled it real quick. So as you can see, I know my limits. But you cannot see the scratch in there. The scratch has been leveled. It has been taken out. So now we gotta level this with some fluid to the machine, and and start refining this finish back to its normal gloss. You know, it looks scary, but it's another day. Okay, here we have a nice, fresh, clean pad. Now, you want to prime your pad, and the best way to explain priming is before you brush your teeth. It's common knowledge, even kids do it. You run the toothbrush under water, and that primes the toothbrush. So you're not taking dry bristles right up against your gums, right up against your teeth. You prime it. Now, what I like to do is I always wash all my pads the night before any type of detail, and I just let them spin dry in the washer, and that's it. So they already have a nice little moisture to them. But this one seemed to dry it out, so I'm literally just going to take the tiniest bit of moisture here on my fingers, a little bit of water here, just enough to go through the fibers of the microfiber pad, just to kind of get a little moisture in there. A little goes a long ways, so don't overdo it. And I'm going to put my leveling fluid down on here, and I'm going to knock out that disgusting mark right there in the paint. Now you want to make sure that before you start using this polisher, that all of this leveling fluid is on every little fiber. So you want to work it in, otherwise the pad is just going to be spinning on your paint, and it's not really going to be doing anything good for it. So you want to make sure that this product is inside all these fibers, but you want the fibers standing up. You don't want to clog the fibers. You don't want to put a crazy amount. If anything, you just want to keep hitting it with water. Allow your polish to escape from the pad, therefore keeping it from getting clogged and refining the polish itself. So now that I have the pad primed, I am going to go to work on this panel. Start at low speed, high pressure, work my way up, and work my way back down. You guys are seeing this in real time right now. There it goes. I'm going to go ahead and wipe off this polish. And you're going to see an instant gratification on here on what was done to this panel. Now when you're wiping polish off, you got to be very gentle, because you can put new scratches back in your paint. You don't want that. So you don't want to work in reverse, guys. So just use a little bit of water here just to kind of knock off this fluid. It's flashing pretty quick out here in the heat. This is something I would not recommend, but I've done this a million times, so I know the nature of the beast I'm working with here. Get this little bit of polish off. Okay. I think I just gotta touch that one little speck up right there. I think we'll be good.
Like a diamond from Sierra Leone. On some different type of shit you suckers never be on. They following me around the town whenever we home. Trying to stop a nigga grind cause they know we on.
Just like that, guys. That was in real time. And I want to make this thing pop. Here we go. I'm essentially going to jewel this, bring it down to a really low speed to finish it off. no scratch at all in this paint. The scratch is gone. You know, practice makes perfect. You can try to replicate this your first try. You're probably not going to have success. And one final thing. Before you go waxing this, you guys got to remember that there's oils left behind by the polish. You don't want those on the car. So you're going to want to wash it down. You're going to want to wash it down with a 50% water, 50%, 90% isopropyl alcohol. Or Car Pro makes a product called Eraser. That's really what you want to use. Just remember to do that final wipe down with a clean towel, not the same towel you've been polishing with. If you skip this step, you're not going to get the right result. And that's how you take a scratch out. It's gone. There you go.